Lady, keep it down. I'm just gonna kill you, that's all. Welcome, everybody, to the Falcon One-Shot. I'm your host for the evening, the Birdman, known as Falcon, and this right here is the Bohemian Killing. Now, I'm actually really quite disappointed that this game flew under my radar. Now, mind you, it's not a complete product just yet. It's still in early access, but this came out in June or July of this year, and I completely slept on this game. I'm pretty sure a lot of people probably did too. I barely found out about this game like 2 or 3 days ago. I got a code for it in my inbox. I checked it out, and I'll be honest with you, so far I have really enjoyed everything about this game. This is one of those titles that's just very unique, and if you know me, I love unique games. I love games that are basically against the grain, outside of the norm, and the Bohemian Killing is really all about that. Now, the Bohemian Killing is all about your trial for murder, and the caveat here is you actually are a murderer. You are trying to get away with murder in this game, and the way you do this is by the prosecutor will actually have their own set of evidence that places you at the scene of the crime, the murder weapon, evidence, witnesses, etc., etc. When it's time for the defense to kind of tell their side of the story, which is, part of you, you will be kind of transported back to the scene of the crime when it took place in a first-person perspective, and what you want to do is when you're retelling your story, in that first-person perspective, you want to go ahead and just debate every single piece of evidence that the prosecutor has against you to get away with murder. And that's really what it's all about. It's a very unique title. I'm really super excited about this. Now, mind you, this takes a little bit of time to set up, so just roll with the punches here for a bit, and if you do enjoy it, let me know in the comments, and we might just keep it around for a series, because I'm really excited about this. This game adapts to the choices you make. Each lie can change the verdict for better or worse. And right now, we're in control. So, it should be noted, I haven't played too far into this game just yet. I've kind of covered like the first 20 minutes or so just keep in mind, if we get pretty far in, I don't know what's to come ahead, but I do know what happens early on anyway. So let's see here, let's move on forward.
She should be here by now.
And the game is completely voice-acted, by the way, so I'll be cutting back on the dialogue whenever there's actual in-game dialogue happening over here. So we have to check our time right now. Keep in mind, evidence and time.
So let's get started.
Right. Evidence and time, really important in this game. Everything basically revolves around the evidence and what happens at what single time and whatever the evidence says. So right now we have to draw our dagger. And what a dagger it is. This looks like some Dishonored shit right here, man. Alright, there are interactions that will skip time. Try it by using the book in the table. Again, as I mentioned, time really important in this game. So, in-game time runs like in real life, and it is important to arrange a reliable testimony. Again, really important. Right now we don't have to worry about that because we just have to actually commit the murder right now. Lady, keep it down. I'm just gonna kill you, that's all.
Monsieur Eaton. Monsieur Eaton. Monsieur Eaton, I'm talking to you. I'm sorry, Monsieur le Président, I was thinking. Do you understand the indictment? Sorry, but I have to ask the prosecutor to repeat. Monsieur Eaton, do you consider it to be a joke? You're charged with a serious crime. Please stay focused. Monsieur Prosecutor, please continue. As I said, I accuse Alfred Eaton of murdering Marie Capet on the 17th of October 1894 in Paris. That day, Alfred Eaton was at the theatrical premiere of Prométhée, Vol du Feu, which took place at Opéra Garnier. As it is apparent from the testimony of witnesses, the accused left at about 8:30 p.m., before the end of the banquet. At about 9:25 p.m., he rented a room in his name at the Caucasus Hotel, which is adjacent to the building in which he lives. It was in that room that approximately at 11:16 p.m. Marie Capet was murdered. Next, the accused returned to his house, and at about 10:05 p.m. he entered his apartment in the company of Marie Capet, or let her in. It results from the fingerprint analysis. It did not show the victim's fingerprints on the outer side of the door, only on the inner. Alfred Eaton, by means of deception or threats, led the victim to his secret workshop, which is located on the first floor of his apartment. The police report did not indicate any signs of struggle or resistance. The accused probably wanted to test on Marie Capet the prototype of a torture machine of his construction, which was in the room along with medical tools and manuals of torture. When Marie Capet realized what the accused intended to do, she grabbed a metal rod lying in the room and hit the accused on the head, which caused a real threat to his life and, according to doctors, may have caused unconsciousness. The fingerprints of Marie Capet's left hand were found on the rod, as well as Alfred Eaton's traces of blood. Traces of blood were also found on the floor of that room. At the time of his arrest, the accused had an extensive wound on his head, as confirmed by medical examination. Seizing the opportunity, Marie Capet fled from the apartment. She was stressed and in a hurry. This was confirmed by her numerous fingerprints secured on the inside of the door of the apartment of the accused. Then, Marie Capet ran into a nearby hotel, the Caucasus. It was the same hotel in which the accused rented a room. As it appears from the testimony of the clerk, Marie Capet was extremely stressed, repeating the word doctor and police. Probably she wanted to call for help. When the clerk went to get some water to calm Marie Capet, she disappeared. The next day, on the 18th of October, about 8:32 a.m., a maid found her body in a room rented by Alfred Eaton. It was covered with numerous fingerprints of the victim and of the accused, and had traces of the victim's blood. The immediate cause of death was a severe blow to the abdomen in the liver area, with a blade of about 14 centimeters length. The murder weapon, constructed by the accused, was secured in his apartment. Marie Capet's unwashed blood stains were still present on it, as well as the fingerprints of the accused. The accused is also charged by the testimony of one of the neighbors who passed the accused at the front door of the building in which they both lived at about 11:30 p.m. The witness testified that the clothing of the accused was stained with blood. Unfortunately, the said clothes were not found. At the time of committing the alleged crime, the accused was sane, which means he acted consciously. For committed crimes, the accused shall be liable to life imprisonment or the death penalty. Has the accused finally understood the indictment?
Oui, Monsieur le Président.
Does the accused plead guilty to the charges against him?
Non, Monsieur le Président.
Does the accused want to provide explanations?
Oui, Monsieur le Président.
Monsieur le Président, could I ask you for some conversation time with my client?
Of course. I just wish it would not take too much time. We've already wasted too much of it.
Monsieur Eaton, please note that you can look through evidence at any moment. It is available by pressing Tab. I will show the defense evidence to the court at the time of your uncovering during the testimony. It might surprise the prosecutor. If necessary, you can recall the string of events, according to the prosecution, by pressing the Q key. Will you need my help during testimony? I will give you my advice and remind you of important facts and events.
Let's see here. Do you want the attorney to help you during your testimony? Absolutely. I'm not too familiar with this just yet.
We are ready, Monsieur le Président.
Then let's get started. Monsieur Eaton, what were you doing on October 17th, 1894, from 8 to 12 p.m.?
There was a theatrical premiere of Prométhée that day, which was sponsored by Le Feu, in which I am the lead designer. Starting at 7 p.m., I was at the premiere at the Opéra Garnier. Around 8:30 p.m., after the play, I found that I did not want to attend the dull banquet, and instead I preferred to work. I said goodbye to Hugo Argent, president of Le Feu, and I drove home. I got there at about 9 p.m. For a moment, I admired the charming streets of Montmartre.
Alright, so we're finally in control over here. Let's go ahead and check out the evidence against us here. So prosecution would be tab at number 1. And that's the murder weapon, obviously. I mean, they have a really open and shut case with us when you think about it. So we have to honestly be able to poke every single hole imaginable in their testimony. Otherwise, we're basically boned here. So this right here is the dagger that they found with blood of the victim. They found it on me in my own apartment, hidden. They got my traces of, fingerprints, whatever else have you wanted. So that's that. Let's see, let's change the evidence. We also have the metal rod, which is what I think the victim used to defend herself against us momentarily. Police reports over here, fingerprints expertise. You guys could go ahead and pause this and read if you want to. But I want to get more of the gameplay in here before we wrap it up, because as I mentioned, it takes a while to get this game up and running, so I'm trying to get as much as possible in here in this one video. But if you want to see some more, do let me know and I'll go ahead and continue it. That's the prosecution. Our defense, we don't have anything right now because we have to obviously create the defense as we go along. Now, if we go into Q, it'll tell us the string of events. This is essentially gives you an idea what it is that you're looking to do right now to kind of like poke holes in that part of the testimony itself. So right now it says the event. The accused was at the theatrical premiere of Prométhée, Vol de Feu, which took place at Opera Garnier. We do know that we were actually spotted with blood on our clothes, right? So one of the things I already do know about the early start here is I could figure that out. This would switch the ignition on my vehicle. That's a bitching car, man. Oh my god. Oh yeah, let's also find out what time it is right now. And that is gonna be 9. Has time been running? I think time has been running, actually. Well, we're sort of different. We're still at a decent time.
I decided to go for an evening walk.
Now, this part over here is going to be really useful for the blood testimony on us.
I entered the Café de Paris cafeteria. I wanted to drink some good wine and eat a piece of cheese. A group of Parisian rabble tried to throw me out, screaming that there was no room for gypsy thieves. They beat me and threw me into the street. I was all covered in blood.
Did you report this fact to police officers?
No, Monsieur le Président. I decided that it was not worth losing my time.
And why is that?
A second of my work is more important than the lifetime of each and every one of those plebeians. Besides, if I had reported it, I would have done them a favor.
What do you mean, Monsieur Eaton?
In jail, they would have had better living conditions than those holes that they call houses.
I understand. Please return to your testimony.
Alrighty, so we were able to kind of bring up a really decent bullshit excuse. Why we didn't report it, and more importantly, why were you seen covered in blood going back to your house? So now we have a little bit of the blood, I guess, holes poked in that evidence when it actually happens at whatever time's going to be. Let me look at my time here really quickly. It is, yeah, it does run in real time. That's pretty interesting. So now we have that done. Let's go ahead over here and see what else is available by the string of events. Hugo Argent's testimony. So I think all we really have to do now is just kind of book it towards wherever we have to go. So I think it's going to be the hotel if I'm right. So the hotel should be coming up over here if I'm correct. Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Then I opened the gate. I opened the door and walked into the Caucasus Hotel.
Alright, luckily we're in the right hotel too. The Caucasus, that's exactly where we had to be. I didn't walk into the wrong one and be like, oh yeah, I was over there at, like, Motel 6. It's like, sir, the evidence is all about the Caucasus. I'm like, no, it was Motel 6, man, believe me. I know where I was at. I'm poor, I could only afford Motel 6. So, let's see here, what do we have for this one? The accused rented a room on his name at the Caucasus Hotel, which is adjacent to the building in which he lives. It was in that room that approximately 11:16 Marie Capet was murdered.
Apparently, the clerk noticed my state, but the rules of savoir-vivre did not let him make any commentary. I wanted to rent a room in a hotel, but the clerk said that a room had already been rented in my name. He said it's on the top floor and gave me a spare key. I must add that the conversation with this man was not held at about 9:25 p.m., as according to his testimony, but at a different time.
Monsieur Eaton, do you claim that you did not rent that room?
Oui, Monsieur le Président, but I knew it could not be a coincidence. The name Ethan is not that common.
So you tried to learn more from the clerk?
Yes, however, he hid behind his professional secrecy. I knew he wouldn't tell me a thing.
I do not understand one more thing. You live next to the hotel, so why did you want to rent a room there?
Sometimes I meet up with some girls of the Moulin Rouge, and due to my reputation, I prefer not to do it in my apartment.
Did you meet Marie Capet face to face?
No, Monsieur le Président, never.
I understand. Please continue.
Our boy loves to get estranged, don't he? Alright. So, we have now, based on what time it is right now, what we've done is actually change the time of the alleged testimony from prosecution, because they said it was like around 10:30 or so when we rented our apartment or our room at the hotel. We're saying it was at 9:25 or a little bit before that when it actually happened with this guy, and the hotel was already rented in our name somehow. So let's try to find out some information here if we can.
I wanted to check the guest book, but I couldn't do that with the clerk nearby.
Alright, so we gotta find a way to get this guy out of here. Could throw a coin here for some reason. I'm not sure this does anything, but let's give it a try.
Next, I threw a few francs to the fountain in the hotel.
Why does that matter? I don't know. I honestly wish this injured thing would actually remove ourselves from the UI, though, just because it's a bit annoying when you're looking at stuff, but whatever, what can you do? But, let's go ahead and lure out the clerk out of the hall.
I wanted to learn something about that hotel room, allegedly rented by me. I dialed the front desk and asked a staff member to check something in the backyard. I had a moment to look inside the guest book. I checked the guest book. There was my surname, and a signature which I recognized immediately. It was the signature of my father.
My father?
Monsieur le Président, the evidence mentioned by my client has already been presented by the prosecutor. But I must add that we commissioned the handwriting expert. This is the proof marked with number 1. It states that the signature appearing in the hotel guest book really belongs to Antoine Eaton, father of the accused.
Then Monsieur Antoine Eaton will be re-examined as a witness. The hearing will take place at the next trial. I ask to duly summon the witness. The accused can return to his testimony.
Alrighty, and we went ahead and unlocked some new defense evidence for ourselves here, I want to say, right? Let's go to the tab. Let's go to defense over here, and there you go. Graphology Expertise Summary. After a careful examination of handwriting of Alfred Eton and Antoine Eton, it clearly states that the signature which appears on the guest book that the Caucasus Hotel belongs to Antoine Eton, our father. It's not our signature. So we now have a little bit of defense for ourselves. And it's essentially the name of the game when it comes to the Bohemian Killing over here. You will proceed along the chain of events, and you try to find evidence to kind of support your reason why you didn't cause the murder, even though you actually did. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. If you want to see some more, let me know in the comments, and I will continue this because I really do enjoy it. I'm not too familiar with it, but it's one of those games that you kind of have to just play trial and error and see what happens, and that's what makes it kind of fun. But if you want to see some more, do let me know. All the information for Bohemian Killing will be down below in the description. I will catch you next time.